What should we keep to ourselves, and what should we share? The Stoics believed in the power of self-restraint, reflection, and carefully chosen words, particularly in our most important relationships. In any close partnership, what we choose to communicate or withhold has a profound impact on trust and mutual respect. But a wise or shrewd person knows that not every thought, fear, or worry needs to be shared. This idea is not about secrecy but about thoughtful discretion, aiming to foster a healthy relationship rooted in understanding rather than unnecessary conflict. When we think of Stoicism, we're reminded of the virtue of knowing when silence is more beneficial than speech. Stoicism encourages us to reflect on our emotions, to examine their sources, and to avoid impulsive reactions. Epictetus famously advised that we should first understand ourselves before reacting or sharing our inner feelings with others. In a marriage or close partnership, applying this principle might mean holding back certain personal thoughts or anxieties to avoid unnecessary strain on the relationship. Instead, the Stoic approach suggests we focus on personal growth, inner resilience, and only sharing what will benefit the other person or the relationship as a whole. This doesn't mean being dishonest or withholding important truths, but rather being thoughtful about timing, relevance, and impact. Have you ever considered what should remain unsaid for the sake of harmony? The Stoics believe that wisdom often lies in restraint and in choosing our words carefully. By adopting a Stoic mindset, we can assess whether sharing every detail is necessary or if it may harm the relationship more than help it. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." In this context, a good man or a wise partner learns to filter their words and actions through the lens of what will bring the most peace and understanding. Before we start, please subscribe to the channel, and if you like this video, like it and write your opinion through comments. After this introduction, we go to the main topic and examine 5 things in this case. A smart man does not tell his wife 5 things. Number 1. Unsolicited criticisms of personal preferences. Offering unsolicited criticisms of personal preferences can strain relationships, especially within a marriage. From a Stoic viewpoint, one should exercise restraint and respect for individual choices, as expressing constant criticism can disrupt harmony and erode mutual respect. If a husband feels compelled to comment on his wife's preferences, such as her taste in decor, hobbies, or fashion, he may be putting his own sense of judgment above her autonomy. Stoicism encourages a mindset of acceptance and understanding, reminding us that others' preferences do not need to align with our own for them to have value. So a Stoic might ask, why judge if it adds no real value to either person? Psychologically, personal criticisms can create a defensive response, making a spouse feel unappreciated or misunderstood. When a man continually critiques small things, he might inadvertently communicate that his preferences are superior. This behavior can undermine the foundation of equality and respect in the relationship. In place of criticism, Stoic wisdom suggests focusing on shared values and appreciating differences. For example, if one spouse enjoys collecting unique art pieces or decor items, rather than critique, the Stoic response would be to appreciate the joy these items bring her. This acceptance fosters harmony and shows a profound respect for individuality. One aspect of Stoicism is the understanding that we cannot control others' preferences, rather, we can only control our reactions to them. When we offer unsolicited opinions, we risk disrupting inner peace, both ours and that of our spouse. Instead, Stoics encourage the practice of self-reflection. Before commenting, consider whether the observation is genuinely beneficial or if it stems from personal bias. This reflection can be transformative and prevents unnecessary conflict, highlighting the Stoic idea of valuing inner calm over external control. Ultimately, by refraining from unsolicited criticism, a man aligns himself with Stoic principles of acceptance, moderation, and respect. In this way, he builds a more harmonious relationship where both partners feel free to express themselves without fear of judgment. Such an approach not only strengthens the bond but also cultivates a shared sense of peace and trust. Number 2. Negative opinions about family or friends. Sharing negative opinions about family or friends can have lasting consequences in a relationship. According to Stoic philosophy, exercising discretion and focusing on virtues like patience and kindness helps maintain harmony. If a man voices harsh opinions about his wife's family or friends, he may create a wedge between them. In Stoicism, this is seen as a distraction from one's own sense of virtue and equanimity. Why let small irritations disrupt a relationship? Practicing empathy and choosing silence over critique reflects a Stoic commitment to maintaining peace. Psychologically, criticisms about family can be deeply personal and difficult to ignore. Negative comments can lead to defensiveness, resentment, and even lasting wounds. From a Stoic perspective, it is wiser to manage one's own discomfort silently rather than project it onto a spouse. Instead of voicing minor grievances, Stoicism would advise focusing on the positives of these relationships, appreciating the role they play in one's partner's life. For instance, even if one finds a relative's behavior annoying, it's helpful to consider the love and support they provide to one's spouse. This shift in perspective fosters greater understanding and compassion. Marcus Aurelius encouraged the practice of seeing others' actions without judgment and focusing instead on our own responses. By keeping negative thoughts about others to oneself, a person cultivates inner peace, as Stoicism teaches that the only thing truly in our control is our own reaction. In practice, this means refraining from complaints or criticisms and choosing kindness and understanding, which ultimately strengthens the relationship. Through a Stoic lens, choosing to keep negative thoughts about family or friends private is a way to honor both one's spouse and oneself. It allows both individuals to build a supportive relationship where minor annoyances are overshadowed by appreciation and mutual respect, demonstrating the Stoic values of patience and tranquility. Number 3. Financial fears that cause unnecessary anxiety. Financial fears are common, but repeatedly voicing them to one's spouse can create unnecessary anxiety. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, which includes our reactions and mindset, rather than external circumstances like money. If a man frequently discusses financial fears, he may unintentionally pass his own worries onto his spouse, creating an atmosphere of tension. Stoic philosophy encourages calm reflection and pragmatic action rather than dwelling on worries that may not come to pass. This raises an important question: does sharing fears alleviate them, or does it amplify them? Psychologically, anxiety over finances can easily spiral, especially when shared frequently within a relationship. This constant worry can rob both partners of the peace of mind they need to make sound financial decisions. In place of vocalizing fears, Stoicism would advocate for internalizing the challenge and addressing it methodically. Epictetus taught that it is not events themselves that disturb us but our interpretation of them. By reframing financial concerns as a problem to solve rather than a threat, one can adopt a more solution-focused approach, reducing the anxiety of both partners. For instance, instead of voicing every financial worry, a man could choose to take proactive steps, such as creating a budget or planning savings together. This approach aligns with Stoic principles, as it emphasizes action over fear and fosters a sense of shared responsibility. In choosing to address concerns through concrete action, one maintains a sense of control, which is central to Stoic thinking. Rather than burdening a spouse with hypothetical fears, this approach empowers both partners to work collaboratively on a realistic plan. Ultimately, refraining from expressing every financial fear demonstrates Stoic wisdom and self-discipline, fostering a more peaceful, resilient partnership. By choosing to keep financial worries private or addressing them constructively, a man practices the Stoic virtues of courage and self-control, cultivating an environment where both partners feel secure and empowered. Number 4. Past regrets or mistakes irrelevant to the present. Reflecting on past regrets or mistakes can lead to personal growth, but repeatedly bringing them up in a relationship may serve little purpose. According to Stoic philosophy, what has happened in the past is beyond our control, and dwelling on it can often hinder rather than help us. In a relationship, a husband who constantly revisits past mistakes with his wife may unintentionally cause distress or even open old wounds that are irrelevant to the present. The Stoics remind us that our focus should be on what we can influence in the present, not on past errors we can no longer change. Why, then, revisit these regrets if they no longer serve a purpose? Psychologically, bringing up past mistakes can create unnecessary tension, even if they do not directly involve one's spouse. Sharing regrets about past choices, whether personal or professional, may not always lead to constructive conversations. In fact, constant reminders of the past can make a relationship feel burdened by unresolved issues. From a Stoic perspective, it is essential to ask, what does reliving these mistakes accomplish? Instead, Stoicism suggests redirecting this energy towards accepting what cannot be changed, ultimately allowing both partners to experience greater peace and focus on building a brighter future. In practice, letting go of past mistakes means refraining from comments like, "If only I had," or "I wish I hadn't," particularly when these reflections are unlikely to lead to positive changes. For example, rather than repeatedly lamenting a missed career opportunity or a financial setback, a Stoic approach would involve understanding what can be done now to improve one's situation. This shift in mindset helps foster a sense of personal responsibility and resilience, enabling a man to contribute more positively to his relationship rather than dragging it down with regrets. Ultimately, by refraining from constantly revisiting past regrets, a person cultivates a stronger sense of acceptance and inner calm, qualities that positively impact relationships. Stoicism teaches that the only time that truly matters is the present moment, which is where we have the power to act and create change. By letting go of past mistakes, a husband not only strengthens his own sense of self-worth but also fosters a healthier, more supportive partnership focused on shared goals and experiences. Number 5. Relentless complaints about work. Relentless complaints about work can easily become a drain on a relationship. While it's natural to vent frustrations occasionally, Stoic philosophy encourages us to approach life's challenges with resilience and to focus on solutions rather than merely voicing complaints. A Stoic might ask, does expressing this frustration serve a constructive purpose? From this perspective, continually sharing every dissatisfaction about one's job with a spouse may not be helpful. In fact, it risks overshadowing moments of connection with negativity and can leave both partners feeling burdened by problems that could be approached with a different mindset. Psychologically, constant work-related complaints can lead to emotional fatigue for both the person venting and the one listening. Each time a man shares his grievances, he may unintentionally pass on his stress, impacting his spouse's emotional well-being. Over time, this pattern can create an atmosphere of negativity, where both partners feel weighed down by the issues rather than empowered to face them. Stoicism advises focusing on what we can control, such as our responses to difficult colleagues or challenging tasks, and letting go of what we cannot change. Is it not more beneficial to address work frustrations constructively rather than repeatedly airing them? Applying Stoic principles can involve viewing work challenges as opportunities for growth and resilience. For example, rather than complaining about a demanding boss or a heavy workload, a Stoic approach might involve reflecting on what can be learned or improved in these situations. By focusing on solutions rather than complaints, A person not only builds their own resilience, but also fosters a more positive environment at home. This approach allows both partners to support each other in productive ways, reinforcing a relationship based on shared resilience rather than shared frustration. In conclusion, choosing not to constantly share work complaints aligns with Stoic values of self-discipline and inner peace. This restraint fosters a more balanced and supportive relationship, where each partner brings positive energy rather than becoming a source of stress. By handling work frustrations internally or finding proactive solutions, a person can contribute to a relationship that emphasizes harmony, resilience, and shared growth. I hope these Stoic teachings are useful and effective for you. My goal is to make your life better and more enjoyable. I will accompany you in this interesting and meaningful magazine.